So is DMB array processing going to mess up your subalignment? That's what I want to talk about in today's video. It's a thing that I've had doubts about for many years. I've never used many DMB systems and I still haven't. So, maybe take this video with a grain of salt, but I finally got around to taking some of their training programs, which I highly recommend. They're totally free. You can attend them remotely and they're well done. So, I had to play around with this for a while to finally understand, but what's great, what I love about Array Calc is that you can practice your alignments in Array Calc with full range sources and with subwoofers, and you can see the effects of array processing. And it confused me for a long time, and so I just thought I would put together this little video in case this has also confused you. Let me show you what I mean. So I've got this demo system here, which is the system that you build when you take, the Introduction to Array Calc class. And I'm just going to go over to the Alignment tab here so that you can see this little phase response pictogram down here. And what I want to show you is that we know that there is delay that's inserted anytime we enable array processing. And we know that array processing affects anything above 100 Hertz. And that specific amount of delay that gets inserted is 5.9 milliseconds. That's all really clear. What was really confusing for me for a long time is this little thing that I'm about to show you right now. So I'm going to enable array processing, and you're going to see this delay value change. So it's going to go from 0.3 and it's going to add 5.9, so we'll go up to 6.2. So it'll jump up to 6.2, and then this graph will change. So I turn this on, and it's just in bypass, so nothing special here, but the delay has been added, and you can see our alignment has changed here. Now, the thing that really confused me for a long time is that you disable this, and I expect this pictogram down here to change. I should stop saying that. I expect the phase response to change. And it doesn't. Look at this. So confusing. Why doesn't it change? And I finally noticed that these values up here stay the same. And I guess the assumption is that if you have done some work and you've done your alignment, then you don't want it to change. So, from that perspective, that makes sense. But if you wanted to go back to the way it was, you could hit that. So I want to look at this from a couple different perspectives. So imagine that you had, let's do a couple things. So imagine you had done your alignment and you just sort of clicked around on these buttons and there was no array processing, and you got to something like 6.2 and you say, oh, I like that, it's aligned, great, I'm going to go with that. And then you're worried, oh wait, if I hit array processing, now it's going to add 5.9 more milliseconds to my array here, and I need to then offset that. So I'll go to my subarray over here, I'll add 5.9 milliseconds to this guy so that when I turn on array processing, now they'll both be aligned. And then I turn it on, and they're not aligned. Why isn't this working? Well, I think what's happening under the covers here is that it sees that you already have enough delay that you've inserted here. And so now it's just using that delay. So it's not adding on top of it. So as long as you have at least 6.2 milliseconds in here in your delay value, then it's not going to add anything else to it. Now you notice that I'm not going to be able to go down. So if I turn this off, let's say that you had a different setting in here. Let's say that this was set to something like 3 milliseconds. And now my expectation is that this is going to jump up to 6.2 again as soon as I hit array processing, and it does. So as long as you have 6.2 or less, nothing is going to change. So you don't need to worry about changing these values. The other thing that I wanted to check on is whether or not, using different amounts of array processing would affect the alignment. And I found that it surprisingly didn't affect it that much. So I'll show you these three different solutions I came up with with here. So this is, kind of just standard matching to 0, and this one is Glory at all the way to 11, and then this one is extreme. So the highest I could get it to go without the realizer breaking. So you have to get this off. You have to get that red light to turn off before you can calculate. And now that I have all those on, I can click between them and you can watch this response down here. So here's with it bypassed, preset 2, preset 3, preset 4, and this rarely changes. And in fact, I've done some tests just on a few different designs, and you can see it change a little bit sometimes. You can see here that we don't have any changes down here at 100 Hertz. It's up here. So, of course, this is all relative to the level relationship between your mains and subs. So if you have a huge haystacking effect and your subs are interacting with your mains all the way up to, 200 or 300 Hertz, then this will be, less reliable, right? Because you can't even see any data here on this phase response graph up beyond 200 Hertz. So just be aware of that, but it is confidence giving for me that you can click through these and this phase graph changes barely at all. So if you are a person that uses a lot of DMB systems, I would love to know if this phenomenon that I see here in ArrayCalc has played out for you in the field as well. Have you found this to be fairly reliable, that you can do your alignment here in ArrayCalc, even with array processing on, and then once you get into the field, you can play around with those values and you do a measurement in your audio analyzer or some other method, and you basically get the same results. So let me know in the comments for this video, and thanks for watching.